Hello, hello. Sorry, I'm gonna move the mic a little bit. And today, ow, I'm gonna be watercolor doodling or something along those lines. I have no specific thing in mind. I am just going to play. I saw a video yesterday or the day before. About like what to paint when you don't actually know what to paint, because I don't really have any like big plans for painting right now, right? And I think actually I tried to move this water closer to my right hand so I wouldn't hit the mic and get my arm in the camera, but it doesn't seem to be working too well. So I'm going to move it back over so it's near the palette. That's a clean water. And then I have dirty water still over on this side. Let's see if I can move that closer. So, yeah, I don't really have any specific plans for what to do today. So I'm going to try my hand at this doodling thing and see how it goes. And she came up with this like beautiful green yellow thing, and I'm gonna start with that, but I think I'm gonna like see where that takes me and then kind of keep going, and maybe do like a blue and purple one, kind of like more fantasy like based or something. And I forgot to shut my notifications off. 1 second. There we go. Okay. And I think we're focused. Okay. Sorry about that. All right. So yeah, I don't usually stream this late, but in line with the last 2 weeks, it's been busy and I've had things to do, and so this is kind of a new time slot for me. And I don't know if I'm gonna like it. I don't really think so, because it's kind of late for me and my kid is home on summer vacation now. Today was the last day of school, and I don't for 1 second think that he's gonna not barge in. So we're just gonna take it as it comes and see what happens. But we are watercoloring today, and we're just gonna doodle and have some fun and play with some colors. I've also slightly adjusted the angle on the camera so that things are still hopefully pretty straight. But you might be able to see my brush work because it's not exactly overhead, it's just a little bit tilted. And I don't know if that'll work, but I figured I'd try. I also took the muffler thing off of my microphone because every time I hear myself, I feel very muffled and I don't know, subdued. So yeah, I took that off too. And if my S's are too bad or whatever, you can just kind of let me know. So that is the plan for today. Watercolor doodling. I'm going to just take a nice big brush, and I might go down a few sizes in a little bit, but for now, maybe I don't want a 16. Maybe, yeah, I'll go down to a 12. So I have a 12, an 8, and a 6. And I'll pull those out when I need them. I'll keep them over here. So, right, I should probably use like a nice big mop brush. So I think I will start there. So I'm just going to wet the paper, and this is going to be like a lot of wet on wet until later. And I'll probably have to dry it a time or two, and we'll see how that goes with the mic the way it is. So many changes today. So feedback is important. If you can tell me if things sound okay and if they look okay, that would be awesome. So just getting a lot of water because I want to play, and I want to play for a long time, and it's warm, so it's going to dry really quickly, and there's a lot of lights on so you can see everything. So I'm going to really kind of soak this paper as much as possible because I want the paint to move, and I don't want it to really dry too quickly. So I have some green over here. I'm going to just throw some water on. I'm just going to mix all of these together, and we'll get some kind of green from it. And I'll add to it as I go along. And I'm just going to just add color. So I think this is more like a hunter's green, so I'll add some more pigment. And already it's just kind of starting to dry, but that's okay, because we'll just add colors as we go. And let's see, what else do we want to throw in there? I think we'll add some phthalo green, some nice turquoise. Or teal, or cyan, or whatever color it's supposed to be called now. I don't know. We've determined that I'm old, and I will always know it as turquoise. I'm going to grab some Hansa yellow, and it will be a little bit contaminated because I didn't clean it so well, but it's like a nice kind of yellow green, more yellow than green, so, but it will mix in well with all of these colors. I need to refill that pan too. Getting quite low. So as things are starting to dry a bit, but I'm just going to keep going in and adding more color until like I get a decent amount of depth and blending. I wanted to darken some of these greens up a little bit. Still keep some light though. And then I think I'll add in some Phthalo's turquoise where the phthalo green is, just to kind of darken some of this area. I don't really have a rhyme or reason. I'm just playing a little bit. What you making? I am doing watercolor doodling today. So I'm not really making anything. I'm just kind of playing with color. What are you doing here? Well, you do have some time before your flight leaves, right? So I guess it's okay that you're here. My partner is crying, is leaving for a month. And I have to deal with humanity without her. And I don't know what that's going to be like. So pretty abstract, just adding stuff in. And I think I want to get a little deeper in some of these greens, add like, kind of change the tone a bit. So I'm just going to come in and add, it's going to be, as you can see, mostly yellow and green based. And just gonna put some stuff in there. And then where I don't like where it's mixing, I'll just kind of scoop up some color where there's some like puddles. I don't want to lose this yellow too much, so I'll go back in with a little bit more, but here it's like quite dark. And here's a puddle. So just roll some of that color away. Are the kids watching too? Your dog was very unhappy that I closed my door to stream. Very, very unhappy. He's on this side with me. And he did not like that. Not like that at all. You know what I forgot to do is to bring up my stream manager. Nope. I want to go here. Yes. Oh, and it lets me know that I'm live. So good. So good. So, let's see. I'm going to just kind of try and blend these colors a little bit more. I don't want to really bring green into the yellow. I want to bring yellow into the green. So I want to make this just a little bit more blending, or not as sharp. I may need to actually pull some yellow from a tube. So I'm just moving the color around just to blend it a bit, make it all play nicely. Scoop some of that up. I have a fan going too, so if you can hear that and it's annoying. I kind of want to deepen some of these places. Yeah. Let me finish the sentence first. I have a fan going on, and so if you can hear it and it's annoying, let me know. So I'm just dropping in that one was a little too thick. Break that up a bit. Dropping in some colors while it's still wet and able to kind of move around. I do want it a little bit deeper kind of in the corner there. And I think I'll deepen some of those other corners too, but just with the different colors. I am also going to be a little crazy and throw in some white gouache as well. I don't actually have, oh yeah, I do have gouache, but where did I put it? Aha. So I have some that's dried on my palette, and I don't really kind of feel like futzing with it, so I'm just going to add some fresh. And I'm going to go, no, I'll stay with this bigger one. There's some yellow here, some red, and I think I'm just gonna kind of pick that up and move it away so it doesn't contaminate the white. Some brown has crossed over as well. So just a bit. And I'm going to make it actually pretty not that watery. It's going to be thick, but not so. I'm just going to place it down, maybe a little bit more. And everything is still wet, and now I'm covered in white dots as well, because you're not supposed to sit that close when you do it, but and I'm gonna get some more and just add some some where it's still wet. I'm gonna add some bigger areas. I don't really want them to be super bright, which is why I'm adding them now, so that they have time to kind of expand and kind of mend. Like anything down here, this is kind of dry over here in this section, so that's going to sit on top, but anything over in the center in these really wet areas, they will kind of spread out and play in the pool with everyone else. And I contaminated it, but that's okay. The other thing you can use actually is just water. Just plain water. And if you drop it into like a wet area, it'll just kind of make a path in the paint. So I'm not really trying to do too much today, just playing. There is a difference between them, but yeah, just very like ethereal kind of. Just sprinkle on some plain water as well. Some of these areas, like, it won't do anything because they're mostly dry, but I kind of like this this center area anyway. Just add some water in there so that they can spread out further. Get a little bit more movement in them. And it does like really cool things, like when you just add water into it and then it'll push whatever paint is around. So you'll have like rings of color. And these spidered out like really nicely. That one's pretty dry, so nothing I do to it now will matter. But this area is still wet. So I can manipulate it a little bit. And this is, again, just water. Just clean water. I'm running out of areas, though, where this will work. Yeah. I think I will give that a dry. And see what happens. I don't want to move any of the paint, so I'm just going to kind of dry it from like really high. And that's pretty dry. And there's white everywhere. I forgot I needed to tell my husband something. So I think I'm also going to point the fan at me because it is warm and I have my office door closed and I'm hot. Okay, let me just type to him quickly. And get some water. This is Bertha. And Bertha's gonna desperately miss her partner in crime, Hank the Tank. Sad, sad days. All right. So now I think I'm going to switch to smaller brushes and put these over here so they can dry. And hopefully they won't be in my way. And I'm just going to doodle. I'm going to make some leaves and I'm going to just layer things up. And I'm going to use some of this, but I'm going to really water it down because I want a nice, like, I can put layers on here depending on how light I start. So I want to start really, really light, and I'm just going to paint some leaves. And just have them be kind of in the background, just hanging out. I think I'll do like a nice big one here. I think I want to change the color though. I think I'm going to add some brown and get like a swampy green kind of color. Nice big fat leaf here. And oh, pardon. And again, these are just going to be in the background. We're going to put layers over them, so I want them to be kind of nice and light. And this one is bleeding over in here, and I like that, so I'm going to leave it. And I can water some of this turquoise down. I can use dirty water to do that. And just little leaves. I have to make sure that I do not touch what I've already painted. Does that angle help? The way that I change the camera, can you see like more brush strokes? The way that it's sitting now? Oops. Oh, that wasn't that color. It was turquoise. So just some doodles, some leafy doodles. I think in some of these darker areas, I'm going to go a little bit smaller, and I'm going to do some in white and use the gouache that I put on, and I'll reawaken what was on the palette. And I think I'm just going to doodle in white. Just a little bit, just where some of these darker areas are, because I think it'll still fade into the background a bit when it dries, because even this is watered down gouache. But I think it'll look better than like another color over it. And this one is just going to have lots of little stems coming off. And I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I think I'll just kind of put some berries or something. Small little white flowers. Or something like that. We're talking abstract, so it doesn't have to be anything in particular. Add some more kind of branches where I think it could use some white. So just playing around. I like to change like the shapes and the size so they're not too uniform. So just some doodles. I mean, I don't really know what else to call them. I'm just making shapes more like kind of nature tree leaf based, but the brush is just kind of going where it wants to. I don't know. There doesn't have to be a reason, right? So I'm trying to just keep the gouache though in the darker areas because the white will show better, obviously, on the darker areas than another color will. I don't want to paint yellow on top of this green because then that doesn't make much sense. I'm going to turn this around and I think I'm going to do some kind of flower. Maybe down. Cluster, I guess, of flowers. And just draw some little stems. Just connecting them all up. Some little bud type of things. No rhyme or reason. Painting to paint. So yeah, I think I want to add some more, like some kind of different color of greens though. I did bring in some, I think this is spa green. Yeah. And I do want to bring that in, but I just want to bring it in much lighter. even lighter than that. And just making some no nonsense kind of natural based shapes, but nothing that's supposed to specifically be anything else. I think I'll take some of this kind of mustardy color too. And what kind of leaves more do I want? I can do some, I did some round ones there, but I can do some smaller round ones. Just fill in the space. Just some kind of, yeah, some of the things. I think I'm going to reawaken this. This is like a orangey yellow. I think that would be good. Had a little bit of dark, maybe black, brown, blue. I'm not really sure. But now it made it more like a mustard color. And I don't actually think that's a bad thing at all. But I am going to add some water to it, because I'm not yet really at the point where I want things like very deep and dark. And maybe I won't get there ever. I don't know. So I have some references here from class that I need, that I kept so I could use for when I got stumped on what kinds of leaves to do. Oh, I could do like kind of like olive leaves. That's a long. And there's some nice big fat ones. There's some spindly ones. Eucalyptus. All right, so we have a couple of different options, and I think I want like kind of in the background, I want something, I'm going to turn this around. So I want something to kind of like end here and kind of come out and go over here. Right? Now you're not really see a lot of the, I mean, you won't see what I'm painting so much over here, but it is supposed to be a background piece. So, and I think I'm going to just do some like long oval kind of leaves. Shapes. I don't even say leaves, just say shapes. So they're just hanging down. Different sizes, angles, colors. Not really color, but just to throw some variety in there. And this will dry pretty nice, and it's yellow, so you don't need too overpowering. I'm just kind of re-wetting the stem thing that I made so I can come back in. Different variations of strokes, not even leaves, just strokes. I don't want them too uniform. And I do want some kind of like varying. Don't want them all going the same way, right? So that'll dry and just be kind of in the background. And it's not so strong that it will take over anything. And then I think I'm going to add like a little cluster here of like some leaves that kind of come out from the side. I just don't know what color I want. I think I'm going to pick a new green. I think I'm going to use a Cascade green. Which was not wet before, so I'll just throw it in here, and it can blend with whatever green is around it, and I will add some water and lighten it up a lot. There we go. I think I want to kind of deepen it a little bit, so added some green apatite in there, and it might actually still be darker than I'm looking for. I really want like a light wash, so yeah. All right. So what I was thinking over here was just like a cluster of kind of like maple kind of leaf type things. And that's not really maple leafish, but kind of around that shape. This is all fantasy, so you know, can pretty much do what we want. Nothing has to look like anything. Oh well. I've kind of lost my points there by trying to bring them, make it wider. Just like a cluster of something. I don't know what they are. Nobody knows what they are. They can be whatever you want them to be. Just add we'll vary the sizes as well, so we can have some younger ones or smaller ones. I'm just drawing some lines like for connecting, and they're going to be background, so it doesn't really matter, right? This one has a lot of like water and paint though, so that'll be, plus it's in a lighter area. And I think I want to actually get a little bit of blue in here, but not in like a really dark. I want a Prussian blue, so I want a darker blue, but I'm going to really water it down a lot. So just keep dropping some water in there. I don't know where my dropper is, or I'd be using that. So nice and light. And I don't know what I want. Just some kind of like leaves sticking up, but well, maybe I'll make like a eucalyptus type or mistletoe type, kind of spiny, you know. I can't actually see because of the glare of the water. So I'm trying to paint, and it's a little hard. Just some kind of weirdo shapes, right? And then on this way. Oh, I did the wrong. It's okay. Wrong shape for the connection kind of pieces, whatever. Stems. Whatever these pointy, spiny things are. But fixable. And then I'm just going to add some long, thin shapes kind of popping up. Everything's pretty still wet, so it doesn't matter if I go like through one from the other. Just something different, you know. All right, and I just dropped water, but luckily it won't really matter too much. So it's like a decent background. I will go back in and add more white, but I think now I want to kind of bring in some like forward, some darker items, like just some traily vines and whatever. I wonder if this is going to be dark enough. I can just bring in some more pigment. Really make sure it's dark. I don't want too much. I just want enough to kind of make things pop. So that you can tell there's something, like the things in the background are in the background. And they'll overlap. I'm just going to do some basic leaf shapes. These are going to be darker. So you don't have to be too precise, but they have to make sense as well. I already feel like I'm not doing that good a job. But I think I'm painting at a weird angle. That's much better. So I just keep spinning, and then hopefully you don't hit my hand in one I've already created. It's a challenge for me. So just add some contrast to it and bring some things in the foreground. Like so. This is really pigmented paint, so it's almost gonna kind of stand out. Be kind of like chunky on the painting. And yeah, I'm gonna do some other things like that. Not exactly, just different shapes and sizes. I'm gonna go to a bigger brush. And I think I want some like bright green. So, but I also want some turquoise. So I'm going to awaken this over here and add a little bit more pigment so I can get some deep, some contrast in there. And then where do I want turquoise? I think I want like turquoise here. But what kind of leaves do I want? That's a question. I think I'm going to do some kind of like eucalyptus type. And I think they're going to come maybe like one main stem here. And then there are always branches that come off. And like that. I don't think I want more than that. And I'm not going to make them like the same like size as like a eucalyptus in real life. They're going to be kind of mini compared. And it's just going to be kind of like rounded, heart-shaped. And then I'll connect them all. And this is going to be spinning a lot. Just kind of filling in the area. Oh, I didn't want that so big, but I think I'll take my thinner brush and see if I can't kind of trim that down a little bit. And see when we go over the top, and it will bleed down, but that's okay. So filling in the space. And there'll be other ones kind of sticking in here and there. You know, they can be like a flat one here. And it can come from so just changing it up a bit. Nature loves chaos. Oh, I did it again. That's all right. The flat one over here. It's over here. Yeah. Okay, whatever green I had over there is kind of melded in now, so grab a little bit more. I like the alternating full leaves versus not so full, right? Side view versus front view. So I think I'll continue that. Just see what we get. I keep erasing. This one can be fuller. Not full sideways, but a little like 3/4. To really exaggerate the kind of top shape there so I don't lose it. Doing pretty well. Let me just do half a shape there. And just put some kind of like semblance. Reminds you that there is something there, but I don't quite know what. A nice little cluster, right? I think on this one I'm going to just make all of the heart shapes first and then fill them in. We wet the stem. I think I'd add just a little water. Oops, wrong one. There we go. It's getting really, really thick. So, heart shapes first, right? Over here, I'm going to do like half a heart shape. It doesn't really translate that well, does it? So. And a few more. And then these will just be kind of random shapes that come out. And I'll throw a few in here too. That one doesn't make as much sense, but that is the way of it sometimes. And I'm going to make a line there. Just to add variation. And fill in the space, right? So, yeah. I like that. I think it's a nice interest piece, whatever. So I just have to decide what else do I want to add to it, because I do want to bring some more stuff to focus, but what? That's the question. Take off the dog hair. I think I want, what do I want? I think I want a different green. So I think I'm going to take some spa green and add it to what's over here. And I think I'm going to add something to it. Because I want it green, but I don't want it green green. Does that make sense? What color do I want? I think I'm going to add some purple to it. And I think I'm going to make some bigger leaves. But where are they going to come out? I think just right. It's maybe a mistake, but some bigger leaves like that. And I am going to go over some of these other pieces, you know. And I'm going to add some dark here. I think I'm going to add some of this mustard yellow in here. So just going to drop in on the top here and let it blend. I think I'll do the same thing. And another one here. And some darker in at the bottom, tap that in, and then I'm going to go back really quickly with this yellow before it dries and tap some on the top of these. I think I'll do one more of this big dark green, but I'm just going to have it be, oops, kind of sideways. So I think I'm just scraping as much green as I can off of this so I can add it to the bottom down here. And I'll add some yellow, what's left over of this kind of mustardy yellow. And just drop it along the top and let it do its magic. And just where it's still wet, adding a little bit of brown. Just some interest. What are we thinking? Huh? I think I actually want to take, this is dried in this leaf here, right here, and I think I'm going to bring it back to life so there's no kind of sharp, like lines. I think I'm going to just do little highlights and just let it kind of blend a little bit better. And I think I'm going to just lightly wet this here too, because this middle part has really dried and the rest isn't. So I don't, again, want some strong lines. Same down here. Yeah. What do we think? I think I want one more thing kind of coming down in here, like this way. And I think I want it, I don't actually know. Like here. I don't know what color I want though. That's the question. I've kind of gone over the place. I think I'm going to pick up this darker green here. That's in the corner that I just used. And I'm going to kind of make it like a lighter, like dark, so it stands out and it's a foreground piece, right? But like kind of spring greenish. I'm gonna try. I can always change it, but I think I want to take some of this green gold and I'm going to start there, and it's going to seem really kind of light, but it's also a kind of a different tone, which is good. I want to get a lot there because I'm going to do something fairly sizable, I guess. Need water. Okay. Keep spilling over into the other well. All of my paint is going over there. So I'm going to start with that, but I want to do something to it. What that thing is yet, I don't know, but I'm actually wondering. Now I have some ideas. So I think I'm going to come in and grab some Prussian blue, put it back over here. So it's like nice deep blue. What a contrast that will be, huh? To like a light green, right? And my dog is barking, so if you hear that, sorry. She just scared me. We have a house guest while my friend is traveling, visiting her family. We're watching her dog, and my dog takes a few days to kind of get used to other dogs. So today's like day one. Yay. All right. So I think I want something coming down here, but I don't actually know what I want. That's a thing. So I think I'm just gonna make some kind of leaf shapes. Right. And this is I think I'm just gonna play. Just gonna play a bit. But what I'm now gonna do is I'm going to drop in some of this blue. Just kind of at the bottom. This may not actually do what I think, but I may have to massage it a bit, which is fine. Just kind of pull up some color. Just smooth this out. And I actually think I think I added too much water to the blue. I think I want like a I want it to be a little bit more creamy. I want it to move, but oh, okay, that was like a happy little accident. Texture. Okay, so oh, that's really interesting, huh? I like that. I like that a lot. All right. So I think I'll come back in and there's some leaves, but let me do some connecting here. So these are connected. This one. So I'll just go like that. And then we'll just do some leaf shapes and then adjust them. And the I won't always put the blue like on the same place, right? Maybe. Just connect all of these. Just put a little hint of something there. Baby leaf there. And then through here, just gonna put some similar to that, just gonna put some kind of like different like they're in the background, you know, they're like back there. And before this dries, I'm going to get a decent amount of blue on my brush and just tap it on and add some kind of texture. And I might take over these smaller ones. But That was far too much. So I'm going to start at the other end so I can get that texture back, and then I can go in and drop in just too much. Just a little bit more. And do the same. I want to get to all of these before they dry, so that one I'll have to kind of wet again. And then just drop in some paint. So that it kind of moves and creates its own thing. And, you know, some of these like kind of spider the veining that's going up. I like that. This one is dried. So now I'm just going to take some water and kind of reactivate this, but not so much. And come in with just a little bit of green to kind of balance it out again. And anything that comes over here, I'll just take away. And on this one, I'm actually going to take some dirty water because it's green. I'm just going to wash this again. So blends a little bit more. I'm going to close up that gap too. And now, because I've added more water, the green is moving down into the blue. And so I'll just add a little bit more blue and get that to move the way I want it to. Same with that one. This one is dry, so I'm not going to do anything other than just give it interest that way. And this one has kind of been taken over a little bit, so I'm going to drop in some green at the top so the green can push back the blue. And I think I'll add some green up here too. So that really went very, very far. I added a lot of blue. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm gonna, in some of these like smaller places, just add some kind of like wisps of color. I'm going to bring some green apatite over, put it right here, and make an interesting olivey color. Yeah. And from here, I'm just going to make wisps. And I want them to be dark. I want them to be forefront. So I'll be going back in and putting some more paint. And these are nothing special, nothing specific. Just some color and movement. I like that. I think I want to actually, I'm going to take some purple and drop some purple in there. Just in various places. Change things up a bit. Let's see what that does. I have purple, and I think I'm just gonna make some kind of flowery type shapes. I don't know. Something small. I think now I'm going to go back in with some gouache and just add some white around, in and around, maybe give some things some highlights, make some more like dots or whatever. And what time is it? 4:45. So I don't probably have enough time to start another one, so I think I'm going to kind of, I was trying to hurry up a bit so I could start another one, but I have to make dinner for my family, so I think I'm going to come in and just add some interest. But I mean, not just interest. I need to really make sure that I do not touch that with my hand. I do want to add some like flowers as well, or some vines, something, some highlights. Just some random interest, right? This brush is like really loaded up really well. There's a lot of paint on there. So I'm trying to have like thin lines. Yeah. I'm gonna leave that alone by itself. I do want to do like lots of like little dots though. Maybe some like sparkles. But what I'm going to do is kind of drag out so they become a little bit more ethereal, you know? Something. Just some interest here and there. And because it's mixed with water, it'll dry a little bit lighter as well. So, you know. I guess I just decided to change this one. So, there we go. I like it more now. And just yeah. I want something over here, but I don't know what. I'll just make some stars. Just kind of fill them in. And then be a little messy with them. So then they can turn into anything. Okay, it really didn't mean to be that messy, but These leaves here, I just want a little bunch peeking out over here as well. That, bring some more of these kind of dots, spread them out. Different sizes and shapes. And I feel this is like weird with just two little leaves. So just filling it in a little bit more. All right. I think I'm going to call that done. What do you guys think? You know, I could maybe go in with some yellow though in some of these places and maybe just add a little, I don't know, je ne sais quoi. I don't actually know what that means, so I'm probably using it in the complete wrong way. But I don't know. Let's play. We don't have to go just yet. Yeah, we've got some time. So what if I brought some yellow down? Some like bright yellow. I do think I need to order another yellow because this is Hansa Yellow Light, and I could probably do with a little bit of variation. So what if I added some yellow? Just variously over in a kind of messy way, but just some dots and fill in these leaves. What if I added if I added some lines right through if I did like that. Just some random, like really random. It's going to dry lighter, so you won't really see it like it is now, but it could like offset a bit, right? My dog's gonna bark. I don't know. Ooh, I just had an idea. What if these little balls that I just made, if I just made them really fluffy yellow on top? Just I should change the angle of the paper, but I'm not trying to be too precise either, so and add some color and interest. This is very much supposed to be just letting the paint take you where it wants to go. I was picking up green there, so I need to make sure clean off my brush. Just it's a little something, right? A little bit of interest. I'm just going over them a couple times to kind of deepen that, and I really want to lose that white, but it's okay. It's kind of like a plant in like Whoville, right? I don't know, it has a little bit of interest, and I can just keep going with some. Do you need some water? Just some kind of like, random dots for interest in throughout the piece. Primarily where there are darker colors. Sharing the love. What do we think? Need to step back and look at it a bit. I think I've kind of accomplished what I was trying for. I think I brought some interest into these leaves with the blue, and then also the texture, like the shape, adding these little raggedy pieces in different places. Like that leaf is upside down compared to the rest. Just some interest. I like that some are bigger. I like that there's a lot in the background. It looks very like alien fauna, or like underwater kind of a feeling. I like all the white. I think the white breaks up a lot and still kind of adds more to that like ethereal, feeling. I like all the different greens. Yeah. This was a lot of fun. I'm really glad I saw a video. This is based on a video by Ellen Crimini Trent, who is a watercolor artist from my, I don't know hometown, but my home state or home area. She's from New England. It's very comforting for me to listen to her because, you know, she sounds like home, right? And she does a lot of loose stuff, which I am not the greatest with. I really need to kind of pick up my game on loose. And I think it's just because I've learned so many different things. I haven't been able to let go enough to really be successful with having like loose paintings. I've only done a couple that I think are even passable. And if I could only show you what kind of pile of paper I have from stuff that I deem like not worthy, not keepable. It's quite large. They can't all be masterpieces, right? So, and I practice and I play, and I still am just not all that great with loose. You know, this is not really that loose at all. This is just more kind of fantasy and playing, and but the leaves have distinct shapes, and even the ones in the background have like fairly distinct shapes. So I do need to get better with it. She's one that I was following on YouTube to see if I can improve that. This tape is really ripping my board apart. So I saw this, she has one about doodling, like what to paint when you don't know what to paint. And I was like, oh, well, I don't know what to paint tomorrow, so I used the same colors that she did in hers, but I don't think I did the same shapes. I really just kind of was inspired by it, but not trying to copy it. So that was my goal, and I think I made it because I don't know what hers looked like in the end, but it wasn't exactly like this. And I don't know what shapes. I'd have to go back and look, actually. I don't know what shape she used, and I wasn't trying for that. It was more for the feel of the piece. And I think in my own way, I got the feel that I wanted. So I'm going to call that successful. I really do find it interesting though. And I think I want to try a lot more pieces like this, but like with different colors. I think I want to do like a blue and purple, or like purple and pink, like maybe I could do like a whole series of these, like an orange and a yellow, and then a red and a yellow. I don't know. Maybe add some gold in here. Like, it actually probably would have been really nice if I had used gold instead of yellow on the top of these to lighten them. That would have been fairly interesting. So maybe I could bring in some more sparkle stuff. Can use like a silver would be good with like purple and like a magenta. I don't know. I'm not even sure if I've even shown my palette, but these are the colors that I use. They're all by Daniel Smith, who I'm really comfortable with, and I think I'm getting the hang of it. But these are all the colors that I have. So I've some oranges, some reds, some more like pinks and magentas, which I'm not really a pink person, but opera pink with a lot of blues makes some really fabulous purples. I painted it. Yes, so I did a studies on purples. And this opera pink gave me all like these really bright, beautiful purples. These are like magenta kind of purple, pinky purple, which I really like in flowers. So, and then like this is Quin Rose up here. There's a lot of really nice purples in here that I like as well. Some kind of like bluish purples. So it was just a study I did when I was bored watching something on, I think, Skillshare. Just playing around. I never actually finished it because I got interrupted, probably by my son. But like opera pink and phthalo blue in equal parts make just like a drop dead royal purple. And I have two purples, and it's similar, but it's not exactly the same. It's brighter than the Quin purple, and it's more red, I think, than the Imperial. But anyway, so if I like did a whole thing, if I brought in some of these like kind of grapey colors, and then like this royal color, and then some of these like more, you know, magenta-ish kind of purples, I think that might look good as well. Yeah, and then I have a lot of blues I could play with too, but I would want something to kind of bounce off the blue, and I think green would go really well, especially like these brighter kind of happier green colors versus like the muted. They have a time and a place, but they're not like they're not every day for me. This one, that, some kind of variation of those are like my dailies. And I only have one brown because I can just make a brown by mixing red and green, or, you know, really any kind of colors. I have a white, but I usually tend to use the gouache more. This is going to be way lighter. And a buff titanium really makes some really nice soft colors. But yeah, so that's my palette. This is what I have so far. And I want to get really proficient with this. This is a lot of colors. I really don't need this many, but I do tend to use them a decent amount. These are really good night skies, like along with the Prussian blue and the moon glow. Indigo is also really nice for night skies, but this can also tone down a lot of brightness and colors. So if you want like the same color but just a little bit toned down, just deeper, you can throw some indigo in there. But anyway, I digress. This is my palette. This is what I'm using. This is what I play with. And I mix a lot of colors together. But going back to this, I like the variation. I like how it goes, how it has like some turquoise here, some like more like pure green, grass green, some yellows, some like green yellows, some yellow turquoise. I love the background. I like the variation in some of these other plants peeking out. I'm pretty happy with this. This was a good doodle session. And I think I'll do the next one on like a, again, like a purple pinky kind of mix or something. We'll see. But I think I'm going to call it a day there. It's a little bit past 5 my time, and I need to get dinner started for my family. So, yeah, I will be back. What day is today? Today's Friday. Yeah, so today's Friday, and I will be back on Tuesday. And I don't really have anything planned, so I think, again, we're just going to do some doodling. And if you have any comments, definitely feel free to like add them onto the video on YouTube, or send me a whisper, private message, Instagram, wherever you find cards and colors, and let me know. That would be good. So I'm going to call it there, and I want everyone to have a really good weekend and a really good summer if you're not around. And I'll catch up with you on Tuesday. Take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.